Griffith for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The gentlelady just referenced in her comments about her concerns about global warming and the health concerns, and then she went on to say that maybe we need to take some more time, we need more studies on the health. Mr. Butler, it's my understanding that, in fact, the EPA has not done any science on this particular regulation and how much it would change climate change, but that using the normal EPA modeling procedures, the American Coalition for Clean Coal Electricity did run an analysis on how much the rule would reduce climate change, and the American Coalition for Clean Coal Electricity found that atmospheric CO2 concentrations would only be reduced by less than 1% in 2050. The increase in global average temperature would only be reduced by 16 1,000ths of a degree Fahrenheit in 2050. Sea level rise would only be reduced by 0.3 millimeters or 1/100th of an inch. This is the equivalent of piece of paper or a couple of pieces of paper. And so taking that all into consideration, well, first let me say, do you know of any other studies out there other than the one that I've referenced that indicate there's going to be some huge change to what sometimes is referred to as global warming, but more commonly, particularly in the East, is referred to as climate change since warming hadn't happened?
Yeah, Mr. Griffith, I'm unaware of any additional studies. We did a very extensive search when we did our comments on the Clean Power Plan, and the ones that you referenced are many of the studies that we also took a look at as part of our review of the Clean Power Plan.
Okay, but you don't have any direct numbers from the EPA themselves.
We do not.
And notwithstanding the fact that they haven't taken the time that Ms. Capps referenced maybe to look at this matter and the health studies, et cetera, and whether or not this would affect anything, this rule is coming down your state's throat any day now, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. We're very concerned about the resources that it will take on our state levels to, on the one hand, have these discussions and perhaps even legal issues around the implementation, but at the same time go down the path of having to commit our state resources to develop an implementation plan that at the end of the day, one may not be necessary, two that may change significantly from where we started.
Right, and so your folks are being forced to go forward even though there's all kinds of legal implications going on. And as you could probably tell from the previous panel in the debate there, I am very well versed, and I believe the EPA does not have authority. We'll stay tuned and see what the courts say, but I don't think you can change the law just because you find some reference in the closet that says that maybe there was a different interpretation, because if either side adheres to their position, there is no bill. The Senate said it receded. Now, getting into all that legal argument, Secretary Vaart, your state's going to have to comply even though the legalities and the fight over the legalities may continue. You've got to go ahead and get a plan out there. Isn't that true?
Well, that's right. And I think that that's why I'm here. There are a lot of things we can say. I applaud Maryland and the rest for doing what they want to do. North Carolina has made major reductions since the 2005 date. America generally has dropped its carbon dioxide emissions from 2010 to 2013 by 10%, and it was all done without the benefit of a federal action. It was done primarily by the revolution that is our natural gas production here in America. But yes, the concern we have is developing legislation, developing rules. Our utility regulatory system has to be altered.
And you'll spend a lot of money going down that path, and then the Supreme Court comes out a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years from now, and all of a sudden it's all got to start over again. Chairman Graham, your power plants are facing that same problem, but even if this thing goes forward, a number of them are going to have to be shut down before their useful life ends. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. We're about 20% coal in Florida. Like I said, we've switched to a lot of natural gas early on, and they're talking about closing down about 90% of our coal plants.
And so you're going to be hurting, and also that means that you're going to have some stranded costs, and that means the increased costs we go on to your ratepayers. Isn't that correct?
It's almost like they paid for the plant twice. They paid for the plant, and they have all this useful life left, and they're going to have to shut it down.
And the beauty of natural gas and some of the energy revolution is that we can attract jobs back to the United States, but we have to have affordable energy, and this plan doesn't do much for the environment, and it damages our ability and our reputation in the world to have affordable energy. Isn't that true? I don't have time for an answer, but I assume that it is with most of you. Ms. Speakes-Backman, I agree you would disagree, but I recognize that and yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired. At this time, I recognize the gentleman from New York, Mr. Tonko, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr.